Christmas Eve, a magical night for many. Good food, good drink, and time spent with family. Sometimes, one too many eggnogs or a hottie toddy can even lead to some dancing or voracious laughter for all. Ha 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 ha. Believe me, I know. It's harmless fun for most of the time, but it was anything but harmless on Christmas Eve, 10/21. That night, dancing would become a form of execution. Oh. Christmas Eve 10/21 would mark the first recorded instance of the mysterious medieval dancing plague, a malady that would continuously pop up and subsequently disappear throughout medieval Europe for the next 500 years. And on today's episodes of Laughs from the Ass, we're going to find out exactly what drove these devious dancers. I'm Jake Swingin' Storielli, and that's Jimmy Jigglin' O'Brien.
Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Tie up those tap dancing shoes, folks, because things are about to get deadly groovy.
This season of Laughs from the Past is brought to you by Cushy Dreams. They heard that we were solving crimes, and they said, well, we can solve your anxiety on the way. CBD, smokable CBD, Jake. What is so great about this product?
Jim, this is a match made in heaven. Laughs from the Past and Cushy Dreams. Cush up a little bit. You got a sore knee. You got a little anxiety. You want to solve the world's mysteries with us. Cushy Dreams is the way to do it. We love them, and they're doing 20% off with promo code LAUGHS. LAUGHS. Laughs.
They got pre-rolled joints you can smoke.
Yep.
They got tins of nugs. Smells like weed, tastes like weed. It's not weed. It's just CBD.
Legal in all 50 states. They'll ship it to you
discreetly.
They're the best.
Cushy Dreams.
Try them out.
KUSHY.com, promo code LAUGHS. Hello and welcome. Season 10, episode 5. It is the penultimate episode of this season, which has been called Historical Sleuths. Sorry to disappoint you if you thought you were getting a 10-episode season. It's a 6-episode season, and this is episode 5. And it is about the medieval dancing plague. Now, for everyone that's a long time Laughs from the Past listener that has listened to the catalog, that has maybe been with us from the start, they may be saying to themselves right now, Jake, what?
I think they did this.
I think they're doing this one. We have, but much differently.
Yeah.
The third episode ever of Laughs from the Past was the dancing plague. Now, that was released, Jake, in...
Third ep ever?
Third ep ever.
Really?
I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because I brought it up.
Remember that one.
It was released on May 26, 2018.
Okay. I knew that.
Yeah. And Dancing Plague of 1518, it was 24 minutes long. Early into our career as being people that talk into mics, I was living in California. You were living in Denver. You definitely didn't have a mic at this point.
Probably not.
Or maybe you had just gotten one.
Yeah, I might have had a mic talking Yank stuff.
But it's early 2018.
Yeah.
And we did a lot where I just recorded your voice on the computer.
May of 2018?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I still worked a real job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a little snippet of it.
I've got my
no mic.
I call it the Widowmaker. You've seen it a lot. I claim it as my own. I did steal it from someone at CCSU, but it's the dance move where I pretend my hips are locked, and the only way to unlock them is by hitting them with my fists, and then I go back and forth a little bit. It's almost like that new age arm swing move. You just hit your hips.
So, I mean, only 24 minutes long.
I'm shocked that it was 24 minutes long.
Me too. And I remember like enough. Like if someone was like, hey, did you know that there was a dancing plague? I'd be like, yeah, 1518. And I'd be like, there was some disease. That's all I remember. So Noah put a lot of work into writing this. So we're going to run it through. And then if you want to go listen to the original, you can see if maybe we've matured. Maybe we've gotten better at detectives. I don't even know if we tried to like solve anything then.
Yeah, I do. So what I remember, so you're right, 1500s, because I remember I did something that was like, what the hell was going on in the world? Like the world was kind of a era. So this goes back to 1021, so I'm excited to see the buildup. I do remember, there's a lot of eyes on me with the dancing plague because I'm a dancer. I'm a plaguer. So I think...
I thought you'd call yourself a plugger.
Sure do. So yeah, I'm excited to see. I do remember, and I don't want to give anything away, but I remember at the end of the original one, there was something that popped up that was like, that's probably what it was. Because I think the other theories we had run into were like witchy stuff, and we were both like, I'm in, but like, give me something a little more substantive. So we'll see if it's still at the end. I'm interested to see where we get.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's do it, everybody.
See if we learned something new. The first dance. The plague struck late in the night of Christmas Eve, 1021. I mean, is that 1,000 years ago?
Literally 1,000 years ago. Both end in 021.
It's wild. Outside a church in the
And
German
we're still
town.
talking about
Still
it.
talking about it. Twice. Outside a church in the German town of
Yep.
Kolbeck, 18 peasants huddled together in the cold night.
This is where I got the nickname The Plug.
Conflicting reports follow, if you can even call them reports. Apparently, the peasants began to sing hymns loudly. The priest, unable to perform mass because of the noise, came outside to order them to stop. Ignoring them, they held hands and danced a ring dance of sin, clapping, leaping, and chanting in unison. Priest was weak.
I've done a few ring dances of sin, and those don't stop.
Yeah.
With a simple priest saying, let's stop it.
Baby, do you ever heard of a rainbow party?
Yeah.
Jake used to always wear yellow.
Nice.
It's my signature. My signature color.
I'm just wondering what people who don't know what the rainbow party is think.
It's going to be a hell of a Google search.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Sometimes a couple different lines. I think you got a little more there.
I'm laughing still.
Yeah.
I'm laughing still.
Okay.
Okay. That priest, boo him.
Yeah.
The enraged priest recorded a local chronicler, cursed them to dance for an entire year as a punishment for their outrageous levity. It worked. Not until the following Christmas did the dancers regain control of their limbs. Exhausted and repentant, they fell into a deep sleep. Some of them would never wake up.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Stories evolve over time.
Everything gets longer in the retelling. You know that. Just ask your friend Wanda over there.
This says that
That was direct dialect from the movie Seabiscuit for anyone that didn't know.
the priest cursed them to dance for a year.
Oh, you're going to dance during my ceremony? My patrons can't hear me? Well, I curse you to dance forever.
Which, by the way, like priest, you're supposed to be like a good guy in the community.
Not back then.
Hey, you guys are cursed.
Yeah.
It's not cool, dude.
Yeah.
So what
priests do a
actually
lot of
happened
bad.
here? Because, I mean,
Nothing.
these 18 people didn't dance for a year straight.
No, not at all.
No. Okay.
Not at all. Nothing we've read has any substance to it yet.
All right. The dance continues. The dancing plagues are a little remembered today, in part because they seem so unbelievable. How about that? But make no mistake, these happened, and we have reliable sources documenting them. All right? You got a couple tough cookies to win over right now. In one German account, about 100 children began hopping and dancing to the gates of the town of Erfurt in 1247. They danced all the way to the neighboring town of Hamelin. Many of these children wouldn't be found again.
Some Pied Piper shit.
Nearly 20 years later, in another German town, Maastricht, the plague would strike the adults. Beginning with only a handful, over the course of a few days, the crowd would swell to nearly 200 townsfolk frantically dancing. It would only end once the bridge they had gathered at collapsed, sending many of them continuing to dance into the water. And you can't dance and swim. More would die.
What a well-constructed line from Noah there. I mean, it would only end, and you think you're like, oh, okay, how did it end?
Yeah.
Oh, they all drown.
Tastefully.
Scene straight out of It's a Wonderful Life. You seen It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah.
When they open the pool floor to mess with Jimmy Stewart's character, and then they're all dancing, and then they fall into the pool and continue dancing.
Yeah.
That's what just happened here.
Jimmy Star.
I'm crushing my movie references today.
You know you can't dance and swim. That turned into Jimmy Stewart and Sean Connery.
More will die.
You know you can't dance and swim.
How about those kids dancing themselves to oblivion?
Yeah, man. And that's, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Dude, I know I've talked about this on Laughs from the Past, and I will talk about it in the future a lot on Laughs from the Past. Blows my mind when they have, like, accurate reports of people. Like, if you and I saw a giant group of school children walking from one side of the street to the other, and they were being escorted, right?
Yeah.
Someone was to ask you, how many kids do you think that was? My range would probably be like, I don't know, 20 to 50.
Sure.
I don't know, 70 to 100.
Yeah.
100 to 150. They're like, with certainty in these reports. Like, I'm reading a book right now about the Revolutionary War and Washington's spies. And they're telling him, like, there's 13,000 soldiers. And it's like, how the fuck do you know that?
Yeah. I mean, that ties into boredom of the time. Like,
1, 2.
Like, if you're in the town of Frogberg or wherever we are in Germany, and the whole town is dancing, I think, it's not like you can ignore them and watch the football game. It's like, well, everybody's dancing. It looks like, well, it started with 20, and now...
I just think they need to put more cautious words around the numbers. Like, around 100 students.
I know what you're saying.
Would just flow a little bit better from the, like, reliability standpoint.
I mean, this says would swell to nearly 200 townsfolk. So that's kind of a roundish number.
Yeah. This was not just this specific example,
Right.
Just in history retelling. All right, back to the story. The plague wasn't limited to areas in modern-day Germany. Frau Treffel, a female resident of the city of Strasbourg, France, went outside and began dancing on July 14th, 1518.
So I want to say Frau.
her.
Yeah, I want to say Frau was from the OG.
And I think you were hot on her.
Oh, yeah, still am.
Okay.
Yay.
No music was playing, and she clearly wasn't enjoying herself.
I wish.
Now I have her like running from a beehive.
I wish that should be. If that happened in modern day, that would be like a meme. And just anytime there's a picture of someone being miserable, it'd be like there was no music playing.
It's
and
that
she
girl
was
on the
miserable.
truck bed doing the like dance while tears are coming out of her eyes.
A little bit.
What's
no
that?
music.
What's that TikTok dance she was doing?
The
like this.
the really sad one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget what that one was called.
Yeah, she's just crying. People
Yeah.
play that all the time.
Yeah.
That's Frau right now.
Like anyone just having a bad time. Like the person who's crossing the street that looks miserable. Like I just wish people were like, there was no music playing and she wasn't enjoying it.
I have her like a bad time.
I'm not there yet.
Like she's fighting off like an invisible dance fighting an invisible person.
Yeah, I'm there.
Dance fighting, Jumanji, another movie reference. Bam.
Love Jumanji. I might watch it tonight.
Which one?
The new one.
Do you like the new one?
I haven't fully seen it. You're my Jumanji guy.
You should watch
it. All you talk about.
Only funny movie in the last 10 years. For several days, she carried on dancing even more erratically. Several times she collapsed from exhaustion, only to awake and resume her dreadful cavort. Onlookers were drawn to the sight of her arms. Arms jerking. Okay, can you jerk your arms for me? Feet drenched in blood. Can you drench your feet in blood? The crowd decided her spasms were the result of communion with a heavenly force, and she was carried away to a remote shrine. Ooh.
Carried away to a remote
Hold
shrine.
on. You haven't looked at this picture fully. Do you see the person all the way on the left in the pink pants, pink?
Of course.
The hands on the hip and then that right leg out? Like,
Yeah.
they're dancing. Like, that person's moving. Also, I have the guy front center right with the blue shirt and white pants and the big
Ripping.
dick.
Yeah.
I have him, like, getting after it, too. Like, he's kind of high-stepping around. He's a little moshing.
He's a little loud. Yeah, I mean, if you say on the right there, I mean, that one guy just standing. I think
he's providing music.
I think he's doing music, and I think he's also a little tired, so he's just doing the bop.
That dude sucks at dancing. Gets tired. He gets out of breath real fast. So he's like, you know what? I'll just play the chimes in the corner.
He's
here.
exhausted.
Yeah. So it didn't end there. Even when they put her in the remote
Took Frau
shrine.
away. Yeah, my girl.
Within days, 30 other people began dancing. Within a month, the number swelled to 400 by one account. In the summer heat, people began to die from exhaustion or strokes, eventually at a rate of 15 a day by one account. Dancing plague was real for the people of medieval Europe. The question is, what caused it? So, like, here's my question, and I don't know if I did this on the first time when we did this story. What do they mean when they say, like, I'm such a logistical person?
Sure.
What do they mean when they say they danced for like 15 days straight? When did they eat? Did they like sit down and take breaks to eat and then they dance? Did they eat and drink while dancing? What, like, how did they survive for that long? Were they conscious enough to like eat?
I think they
It's
were
not
dancing.
like they can order takeout. Someone has to go cut up a fucking cow.
Yeah, I mean, bread. It's probably a big bread time period.
Someone's got to bake it.
Had some bread. You're gnawing on the dance floor. I mean, we've all been there. I think there's light eating, but I also think this is why people are dying.
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point. Maybe if they were conscious enough to eat, they wouldn't have died.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we go. The dancing plague of 1518. Arguably, the most well-known incident of this plague occurred in Strasbourg, Alsace, modern-day France, in the Holy Roman Empire in July of 1518. It was just another July day when Frau Troffet began to dance a jive in the streets of Strasbourg.
Again, Flashback City, the fact that Frau is known as the beginning of this dancing
Patient
campaign.
Zero. Patient Zero, yeah.
It's not often we know Patient Zero.
Yeah. Frau. We have her first and last name.
She is frozen in time
Frau Troffet.
as the dancing
And
dancing queen.
You have her, like, hot.
Witchy.
Oh, yeah, big hair
Witchy
for sure.
hot, yeah.
A little sweaty, but it looks good on her.
Like, there's a stank, but you don't care.
Okay. I didn't have her smelling.
I mean, she's dancing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 1500s.
Yeah.
There's an odor,
But we all got it.
but it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's a scent.
It soon became clear that this was not a simple case of high spirits. What do you mean, after the 15 days and the people dying?
No, they're still on Frau's first case.
Okay. Frau Trofo continued to dance and dance and dance without rest for 6 solid days. Like, what does without rest mean? She didn't eat or drink? Within a week, 34 people had joined her. By the end of the month, 400. At the height of the dancing mania, 15 residents were dying each day from strokes, heart attacks, and sheer exhaustion. I love people joining her. It's like the Ferris Bueller scene. You see people dancing, all of a sudden the guy washing the windows wants to dance. Like, it's a fever.
Right.
There is a fever to good dance and to people having a good time. Or like, Frau's dancing in the middle of the town, and if she's having a blast, you want to join her. Problem is, she was never having a blast.
Yeah.
From the jump, they're like, Frau's not enjoying the dancing.
Yeah. Well, and that's where, again, circling back to the original, I was a big boredom of the time. Like, I thought Frau just snapped and was letting it rip. And so other people were like, I don't know, life kind of sucks. Frau's been dancing for 48 hours.
I have her doing
Let me in.
I have her doing the Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah,
dance.
a little bit.
Like
less
the
kicky. The arms,
The arms
yes.
are going up and down a lot.
The arms are Elaine. The legs,
I have it more
Prime Shakira.
Oh, really? I have it a little more Irish.
I don't have it Prime Shakira, but everyone that just heard that liked it. Guys, girls, dogs.
We have
Logs?
dogs listening.
Frogs. Yeah.
Let's go for a walk.
Walk? Go outside? And treat? Sorry.
So they're all dying and shit.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. The civic and religious leaders theorized that more dancing was the solution. How the hell?
What?
How the hell did they come to that conclusion?
Cure the dancing with more dancing? These are my ancestors?
Fight fire with fire.
How the hell do we stop this? Should we dance?
Did it take a while for people to be like,
It's literally...
people like, actually, you fight fire with water. It's known to work.
That's literally
100% of the time, water will do the job.
one of my ancestors just digging for words, and they went fire with fighter, and then the person next to them said, can't beat them, join them.
Yeah. So they arranged for guild halls for the dancers to gather in, musicians to accompany the dancing, and professional dancers to help the afflicted to continue dancing. All right, so here's what happened.
Just made a discotheque.
Here's what happened. That's not can't beat them, join them. It's just defeat. And it's like, you know what? If we're going to be the dance in town and it's out of our hands,
Right.
let's at least do it right.
This is a part of our
Let's
society
get some
now.
pros in here
Yeah.
so people walking by don't think we're all terrible dancers. Let's
Yeah.
get some music going to give people some rhythm. Let's open up the dance halls because we're not stopping them.
We can't. This is quitting to a degree.
Giving in.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're dancers now. Unsurprisingly, this very much did not work out. In fact, it simply encouraged more people to join the craze. The mania wouldn't begin to abate until September, nearly a month and a half after it begun. I don't get it, man. I just straight up don't get it. We got another picture here.
Yeah, I mean, I just locked into this picture because it's worth locking in
The
on.
pregnant lady's head's like all the way.
I don't know if she's pregnant.
Well, she's pregnant with something. They're holding hands on the right there. Oh, they're all doing like do-si-do shit. Okay.
No, I think
Each female has two men on her arms.
they're trying to stop them from dancing.
Why'd they paint the one lady just sitting by the tree in the back?
She's been in timeout.
No more
Too much dancing.
No.
So there's these groups of guys are like kidnapping the women from dancing.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they're not dancing together.
It's a nice bridge.
Nice bridge in the background.
Chronicles agree that people were dancing and not only shaking, but they were, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
But they were obviously suffering from physical pain too, as well as having horrible visions and sometimes asking for help and praying. Often they barely ate or slept, and sometimes they were not even conscious of what was happening to them. Okay?
So you got some eating answers there.
Yeah, these guys just have like a disease.
Yes. A manuscript from the historical archives of Strasbourg detailed the incident. There's been a strange epidemic lately going amongst the folk, so that many in their madness began dancing, which they kept up day and night without interruption until they fell unconscious. Many have died of it. Centuries later, historians have tried to describe just how chaotic this must have been. In houses, halls, and public spaces, as fear paralyzed the city and the members of Strasbourg's Privy Council despaired, they danced with mindless intensity, their limbs aching with fatigue, their heels bleeding copiously, probably with sinews torn to the bone.
Ew.
Yikes. Nothing like a good bloody dance floor, they say.
Ew.
Yeah. Our investigation. The medieval dancing plague is a confounding subject. Unlike many seemingly unbelievable stories of the time, we know for a fact not only that the dancing plague actually occurred, but that it occurred multiple times in multiple areas in Europe across nearly 5 centuries. The amount of unconnected first-hand reporting that details eerily similar events makes this undeniable. The dancing plague was very real. Oh,
Echo?
that was like the talking plague.
So what happened? As very high-level dancers ourselves, we have some theories.
Yeah.
Jake's a great dancer.
Yeah. The leading hypothesis. Contemporary accounts point to this being an illness, not something that was planned or purposeful.
I don't think people planned to dance until their heel bones were exposed from their skin and blood was all over.
I agree. Thus,
That's huge.
Thus, we will ignore any theories of this being caused by a heretical dancing cult. It's heretical.
Hereditary
BBD?
means in the
It
genes.
sounded like it comes from heretics.
Well,
Which
what?
means...
Isn't that like devil stuff?
Okay. Dancing cult, that would make
Like
sense.
a cult.
Heretical means believing in or practicing religious hearsay, heresy.
Okay, so some sort of religious dancing cult. Yeah, we were never there. Okay, so this is what it is. We've got two options, a biological cause or a psychological one.
I think it's like, I mean, we talked about this like 3 episodes ago with the terror tried to find the Northwest Passage, and then the food was contaminated and mercury was getting in it, and they all went crazy. They started eating each other.
Yeah.
Like, I think something got into their bloodlines.
I believe, and again, what I'm remembering, which I have a horrible memory, but I remember episode 1 when we did this ending with episode 3 or whatever. That we did all this like culty stuff, demons, and then it was like, oh, also there was a rumor there was a ton of poppy in the water at the time, and it was like, well,
Oh, we're just dealing with cokeheads?
like
or
opium, basically.
Opium heads?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see.
So we'll see if we get there. I don't know.
The next one, the biological one, is a fungal disease.
Sure.
Investigators in the 20th century suggested that the afflicted might have consumed bread made from rye flour contaminated with fungal disease ergot, which is known to produce convulsions. Everyone ate rye flour, so it makes sense from that perspective.
Sure.
There's also a hallucinogenic aspect to the fungus. Onlookers spoke of the dancing maniacs as wild frenzies and seeing visions. Yeah, so mushrooms. They got fucked
Drugged up.
Yeah.
Drugged up and bugged up.
One noted that while they danced, their minds were no longer clear. And another spoke of how, having wearied themselves through dancing and jumping, they went raging like beasts over the land.
Whoa.
They danced their minds. While they danced, their minds were no longer clear.
Been there.
Yeah. It's clear they were under some sort of dissociative trance.
Yeah. Yeah, that was clear.
It is clear.
I was about to say they were under some dissociative trance.
I actually wrote it down earlier. In my
Where'd you
notes.
write it?
Well, I always keep a little bit of notes on the side when I'm trying to crack these cases here on season 10 of Last on the Pass, and I wrote down like maybe dissociative
Right now your
trance.
hand is air writing.
Yeah, air write it.
Okay.
It helps me with the muscle memory.
Visible ink.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean this kind of makes more. I'm excited to see what kind of argument psychogenic illness, aka psychological, can put up, because it feels like these people are messed up, and drugs would be a good link to that.
I spent a lot of time in San Francisco.
Oh, we sure did.
Fifth and Mission, little but by the Tenderloin, Powell Station, and there's a witching hour there.
Right.
It's like 2 in the afternoon. It's like 11 a.m. to 2 in the afternoon when all the drug fiends are coming off
Right.
the night before, and they're waking up and they're looking for their next fix. And it's honestly like zombies.
Yeah.
Like you walk, like I would get off the Powell Station, walk to my school. You'd have to like avoid zombies.
Right.
And there was like this one dude who would run and just scream in your face. Ah! Like that. Not words. And it's very weird because you're like, yeah, that's a human.
Right.
But he's not a human right now.
As of right now.
He's
no.
a zombie.
Yeah.
So I've seen drugs can completely change people where, like, I didn't look at him as a human being.
Right.
And I'm guessing that, there's something.
The dancers were viewed that way.
Yeah.
BBD, we saw a zombie the other day driving home. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, I was going to bring up that we saw a zombie.
Have you been to San Fran, BBD?
Not yet. I have a lot of extended family out
Okay.
there.
You know how the
So my
homeless
mom's
people
been
in New York
pushing
City just kind of sit?
San Fran, they're active.
In San Francisco, they're active.
I hear in a lot of other cities they're like that. I think in Houston they might be like that as well, or somewhere in. My mom said she was in some city in Texas. And
San Francisco is like a
similar
problem.
to that.
They're
It's
like,
like a
a
problem.
powerful.
Yeah.
They're like a powerful militia.
Salt Lake City sent all their homeless people that were also psych patients. They gave them all a one-way ticket to San Francisco. San Francisco sued. California sued and won like reparations because of this. Because instead of treating them in their hospitals, they just gave them a one-way ticket to California. Said, go be homeless with your problems over there. And California won. But yeah, it's so crazy.
It's wild. Let's see. A psychogenic disease, a kind of illness in which a physical abnormality occurs due to psychological factors. Essentially, the argument goes that great calamities, such as the Black Death, authoritative religious and political conditions of the people, the Catholic Church essentially held a dictatorship over medieval Europe, and the overall deterioration of society during the Dark Ages were all causes of disease's epidemic manifestation. A lot of big words in there for me, I'll be honest. The power of physiological distress, especially during periods of dramatic economic decline and social conflict, manifest extreme beliefs and acts. That's a lot of long, boring words, so here's a simple explanation. Next time, Noah, let's just jump right there, babe. People are already stressed the fuck out because life is hard in medieval Europe. Okay, check. Things like the Black Plague and the Catholic Church acting like a dictator only makes it worse. Yep. Dark Ages, society declines, huge apocalyptic vibes. People crack, they go crazy, dancing plague begins.
No, this was not just like stress-induced, the world is tough dancing. I am fully on, and maybe, obviously that plays into it, but someone made a bad batch. The local baker made a bad batch of bread, and they had no idea it was the bread.
Yeah.
So they see these people dancing, and the baker, because the goodness of his heart, is like, fuck, these people aren't eating. I got to give them more bread. And that just kept them high.
Yeah.
They just never ran out. I do like to picture that there's a couple dudes that are like, what the fuck? Why is everyone dancing? Like, what am I not? And they're faking it. And they're just like, all right.
Oh, yeah.
They go and they're like,
oh, they're chasing butt.
Yeah, they're faking it. And then they're like, keep tapping them. Hey, Frau, this is awesome. I'm having so much fun. You want to take a break, though? Frau's like, and he's like, what the fuck? And then eventually the two dudes, Frank and Eddie, they're in there trying to get Frau. And then eventually they're like whispering to her, like, what is this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't keep this up anymore, man. And Frank is like, no, dude, keep going. Here, have some bread. Now, boom. Now they're zombies.
I've said this on a few episodes of Laughs in the past. Guys go where chicks are. That's why there's ladies' nights at bars. There's like science behind it at this point. So yes, in our movie, that's definitely one of the early scenes is the young bros of that time period are like, oh, chicks dancing. Let's get involved. Eventually they do turn into zombies and we're like, what the hell happened? Like
maybe Frank is, and Eddie's like, he doesn't eat the bread. And he's like, wait, how much of that bread have you eaten?
Oh, okay.
And he's like, oh, we shared a loaf earlier. Like, this is great, man.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I think it's the bread.
Yeah.
Eddie spends the whole movie trying to like track down the baker, see what's going on.
Yeah.
But he knows nothing about science. Eventually, he just eats the bread too.
Ah, okay.
Shrugs.
Interesting.
Fuck it. They dance through the end credits.
Yeah, you'd want to do it a good way. I'm trying to figure out how we're doing this, like scary movie style, or you'd want.
I have Frau. It's so hot in my movie.
It's tough to leave it without a giant goose egg. Like I'm picturing an early scene where there's a mom's mad at the kid, like, you're the only kid in this town that doesn't eat bread. Who do you think you are?
Oh, okay.
And then by the end, the kid is the only, like, non-alien, basically.
I like that happening, but only the audience watching the movie puts that. The town never does.
No.
So eventually there's like a shot of the whole town dancing, and the little kid who doesn't eat bread, Benny, is like sitting up on the treetop looking at them. Dude. And like, what? And the audience then knows like, oh, it's the bread.
My movie ends so sad.
How's it end?
So this little kid knows what's going on. He's the only person in the town, and like he's trying to tell people, and they don't listen to him because he's a little kid, and everyone's turning into zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end, he just snaps and he eats the bread, and he goes crazy too.
Yeah. That's kind of what I had Eddie doing. Like, I can't beat this. Crunches and then end credits. I think I got to paint Frau as more of like kind of the Pied Piper of our movie.
Well, no,
Like, when they say like she was not having fun, like I have her like being so Shakira,
yeah.
and people are like, I want to dance with her. Like there's a music video where Shakira's just walking around the world dancing, and then people like join in and dance with her.
It's the turning point of the film is that Frau starts off beautiful, like the beauty of the town. She's dancing, she's flowing, she's going. It's delightful. And then the movie takes the twist the first time, like, you know, midway through the film, it cuts to Frau and her eyes are like zombie mode. And it's like, oh, beautiful Frau is no longer beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Do you need a Pauper Boy scene for me in this one?
You're the little Benny, can't eat bread.
I don't want to be him.
You're his friend.
I'm his friend.
Or you're Benny's little brother who does eat bread.
I'm his friend. That's how he puts it together.
Okay.
Like his friend never ate bread, and then he starts eating the bread, and he goes crazy.
Yes.
Like it was his buddy, the only other kid in town that didn't eat bread.
Because both their moms aren't
were
cooking
allies.
anymore because
Yeah.
they're dancing so much.
Yeah.
Like, well, I got this leftover bread. I'm just now on Shakira Google Images.
Yeah.
Which
Usually
obviously
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Found myself here again. Oh no. And like, is this how we have Frau?
Ooh, the hair is, yes.
I don't know if Shakira acts anymore or has ever acted besides in music videos.
She's acted.
But I have her playing Frau now.
No, she could do it. She could actually do it. Because hasn't Shakira done some weird eye stuff?
Go on. What do you mean?
Like, I'm trying to picture one of her music videos if she's gone full, like, gray eyes or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at first I had Shakira as just too beautiful for it. But no, she'd be great.
Yeah.
Now that I've got it, yeah. Because, no, it gradually, she starts dancing and she's Shakira. It's good dancing. She's hot.
And that's what I'm saying. And
And
everyone
then
wants to dance with her.
It gradually gets towards Elaine territory.
She's like teaching them how to
Yeah.
dance.
Her eyes. I have her eyes being completely gray.
Okay.
I don't know if that's accurate with the time
It looks like
period.
she hasn't done a lot of acting.
Whenever, supposed to be together.
Man, I haven't watched a lot of Shakira's videos in a while.
Used to.
I used to. BBD, you like Shakira?
Yes.
What's your favorite song?
The
You can
the
say
World
I
Cup
don't.
song.
So the World Cup
This
song,
is
That was
Africa.
yeah,
I was in, like, 6th grade, I think.
that's the one where everyone's following her around in the music video, dancing, I think.
Think so.
This is Africa. Man.
We
Oh,
solved it.
dude.
Jake seems to have solved it even more.
Shakira can basically do a musical with this with her own songs already. The turn happens during She-Wolf. Yeah. I mean, that's involved.
That's the first part where the crowd is like, oh, wait.
It's like, whoa, she's tense.
Yeah, this is more than I thought it was.
It's kind of like the Beyonce music video movie thing. I think Shakira could do that and intertwine it with this.
I think you do it, and it's a Shakira music video, like we're not writing a movie, and it's powerful, and it's beautiful.
Ooh, it could be like a good anti-drugs message.
Yeah.
Boring.
Maybe it's like dancing is a drug message, and it's more of like a
Ooh.
it's more of like a what's the Kevin Bacon movie?
Footloose.
Footloose vibe. This is what happens.
Your mom likes Footloose, right?
So you know what our movie is? My dad likes
Your
Footloose.
dad likes Footloose, excuse me.
I don't know about the movie, but the song. I grew up listening to that song. Like if we were driving with
Was it one of your guys' movie posters in the basement?
Yes,
okay,
because of that
I thought it
reason.
was.
Because if when I grew up as a little kid, if we were driving and the windows down, like a nice day, my dad was playing Bruce Springsteen,
Yep.
Born in the USA, Footloose, or Shania Twain, Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Those are like his songs.
Trying to get his message across.
Cut loose, foot loose, or Bye Bye Miss American Pie. So what we're doing, instead of movifying this, we're making we're in the world of Footloose.
Yeah.
And we're making a PSA video for the town in Footloose about the dangers of dancing. And it's Shakira, and it's how dancing is the seductress or whatever, like being seduced by dancing. And Shakira's just looking great, and she's dancing great. And then the whole town, like you can kill a whole town with dance. And then Shakira's dancing through, and everyone wants to dance with her, and then they all drop dead. And the town of Footloose now has a PSA that we made for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got it in my head as more of a Midsummer.
Okay.
Which that kind of was. Midsummer. They're just, well, I won't give it away. But
don't give it away. You're always giving away Shakespeare.
Give it away now.
Give it away now. Do you want to listen to another 30 seconds from the first time we did this?
Sure.
7 dancing plagues that happened all around the same time. Like, I just think that shows how similar people are.
I guess so. Back then. But not similar to now. But, like, now people are similar in a different way.
Go on.
Like, you're saying that people didn't matter. They couldn't communicate with each other because there was no internet. They had no idea, but they were doing the same shit. I think humanity's like that. But I don't think that we're doing dancing plagues nowadays. But back then, everyone was doing the same thing. There's something that we're doing that another country's doing, and we don't really know we're doing the same thing here.
Right.
But it's not dancing.
Heavy.
I got to a place where I understood what I was saying.
I think you and I were being silly and taking it serious, and then at the end, like, you and I never connected the dot that it could have been, like, bad bread. And then we heard that, and we're like, that makes so much sense.
Do you think this guy has hallucinated yet, Frau?
I mean, easy movie, because you just have 2 people fall in love, and then, when everyone has to apologize for their dancing sin or whatever, one of the lovebirds can't do it, they're going to kill him, dance your way out of it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. He gets 3 whole acts.
So we brought it back from 3 acts.
Yeah.
We tightened it up a little bit.
Still just a PSA.
Yeah. I'll give you 3 acts.
Okay.
Give me 3 acts, give me 3 acts, mister. Give me 3 acts to the door. So, we've got a whole back catalog, too.
Yeah, go check it out. And there's one more episode of season 6. And then we'll tell you after that what's going on.
Grand finale.
Finale. Love you guys. Goodbye.